Is it autism or is it ADHD? It's easy to get these two confused. Today, we're breaking down 5 key differences between ASD and ADHD because although these two might sound similar, they're definitely not the same. A lot of autistic folks also have ADHD, but that's a different video that I'll link below. You should watch that one next. But for now, let's talk about the real differences. Starting with number 1, processing time. Thinking slow versus fast. If you're autistic, you'll often need time to process things. Someone says something, and your brain takes a minute to think about it, or 5, or a year. It's like your thoughts are on delay. Sometimes, by the time you're ready to respond, the conversation has probably moved on, and you're left scrambling to catch up, or just off in your own conversation about that thing 3 topics ago that you wanted to say something about. I don't even know what people are talking about half the time. I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time. With ADHD, thoughts are coming at you fast. Your brain is firing off ideas quicker than you can keep up, and you might interrupt or blurt things out just to get them out before they're gone. But your brain doesn't stop with one thought. No. It keeps going, taking you off on all kinds of other directions too. I've seen this with kids I've taught. Many of the neurodivergent students have these incredible ideas, but they really struggle with when to share them. During class discussions, you can really see this contrast. The students with ADHD are often jumping in, rapid fire, bam, 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 even when they're trying so hard not to interrupt. But the thoughts are just begging to come out, and so, come out they do. The autistic students often need more time and space to think, so putting them on the spot isn't comfortable for them at all. But sometimes, later in a lesson or the next day, or even the next week, that's when they're ready to talk about whatever it was. And when they're ready to talk, you better be ready to listen. Let me tell you. ASD takes its time, and sometimes you might only realize what was happening hours, days, or even weeks later. Oh, that's what they meant. ADHD is often running ahead, jumping to another spot before sometimes being pulled back by other people. And even though both brains ruminate, the reasons for this are often different. With the autistic brain connecting things later, and the ADHD brain often second-guessing what happened because of something I'll talk about right now. 2, impulsivity versus slow build. ADHD brains often make snap decisions. They're impulsive, whether it's buying something random, and sometimes really freaking expensive, or saying whatever pops into your head as it appears, or acting on the exact feeling you're having in the moment, even if that means saying something you might regret later. Your brain doesn't wait for you to process. It says, let's go, and you're off. But if you're autistic, there's usually more of a slow build. Your emotions or stress build up quietly in the background until it gets too much. Then, boom, out comes the meltdown or shutdown. At least, that's how it can look to an observer. As an autistic person, I might feel the build inside, but not really know what to do with it either. So that's why in point number 1, I said both brains ruminate. ADHD brains are often replaying things, worried about what they said or did and whether it was okay. Autistic brains might be putting things together long after, which is why the rumination happens. Oh, that's what they meant, might come hours, days, or even weeks later. I mean, there was a time in elementary school that I got in trouble, and I didn't even realize why until I was an adult and diagnosed with autism. The memories of getting in trouble for saying something honest that was looked at as mean. But really, how could it be mean to tell a girl that her drawing was really cool because it looked like a combination of a dragon and a chicken and a little bit like a dinosaur? How was I supposed to know that she wanted to draw a horse and that she was going to cry a bunch after? The swift reaction of the teacher and the forced apology I had to utter when I didn't even know what I was apologizing for, all of that still popped up in my brain so many years later. All I learned at the time was that I got in trouble a lot. But now, science knows that impulsivity is common for ADHDers, and longer processing times are common for autistic people. So to sum it up, ADHD is often quick and impulsive, and ASD is usually a slow buildup. Number 3, routines versus spontaneity. Routines feel safe and soothing when you're autistic. Knowing exactly what to expect brings a sense of calm and control. Any disruption to that routine? Well, it kind of feels like your world got totally rocked, thrown around, and flipped upside down. And you landed on your head. And then somebody stepped on your kidney when all you wanted to do was watch a nature show on sharks. What was I talking about again? So autistic brains want to keep repetition, and routines are exactly that, which is why travel or even taking time off work can be hard for an autistic person. It's not that we don't need a break. We often really do. It's just that we really like a consistent schedule. For me, I like it so much that even on weekends, I still work pretty consistently. I also go to bed and wake up around the same time, whether it's a weekend or a holiday or a work day. Those routines help my brain feel comfortable because I know what's happening. I also like my work, so that helps too. And I also like sharks, which has absolutely nothing to do with this video, but still probably important. What was I talking about again? Now, for ADHD folks, routines can feel stifling. You thrive on unpredictability. If things get too predictable, your brain starts to get a little bit mischievous and looks for something new, anything to break the monotony. Why? An ADHD brain gets little rushes of dopamine from novelty. So that's why an ADHDer might do something impulsive and spontaneous before fully thinking it through. And it's why routines can feel boring, monotonous, and completely unnecessary to an ADHD brain. It'll actively resist it. The pull from both sides is where it gets a little bit tricky for autistic brains that also have ADHD. And by tricky, I mean insane. We talk about that lots in other videos. So if you think you have both, check out the videos in the description. So to sum things up, autistic brains love routines for stability, while ADHD brains crave a bit of chaos to have more novelty in life, which for me usually leads to diarrhea. Number 4, focus. Monotropic versus multitasking. If you're autistic, your focus is intense. When you're on something, you're all in, no distractions. But the problem is, once you're interrupted, it's hard to get back into that zone, which is why you might appear to get irrationally irritated when you get interrupted by someone else, or by your stomach growling, or by the urge to go to the bathroom, or by the fact that you might actually have to go to sleep in the next 72 hours. Your brain is often in a tunnel vision state. You don't hear things, and you don't perceive time. If a herd of bison stampeded through your living room, you wouldn't hear it. Why? Because you're in it. And by in it, I mean in it to win it. And you'll really want to chug through until the end, because autistic inertia and your monotropic brain are pulling you there. Pause to do something else?
No, thank you.
Time for a meeting?
No. Can't you see I'm busy?
Responding to you when you ask me if I'm busy?
Feeling a little bit shy.
With ADHD, multitasking is the norm. Music playing, having a conversation while you're typing an email, and you're also feeding your pet goldfish at the same time. But wait, while you got out the goldfish food, that reminded you of buying cat food. Now you're searching Amazon for cat food, but you see that wish list item. Your new speakers, they're on sale. Wait, you were listening to music and also talking? Is that person still on the line? Oopsies. If you have ADHD, your brain is constantly bouncing between 10 things at once. But the catch? None of them ever get finished. Your brain is busy jumping around everywhere trying to finish one task. It's like your brain is interrupting you constantly and pulling you off in all these different directions. But it's not your fault. It's part of having ADHD. Your focus is the opposite of an autistic person. Doing just one thing, like having a conversation, seems like wasting time when you could be doing 5 things simultaneously. Both ADHDers and autistic people often struggle with interruptions. But autistic people are often stuck in the zone, and ADHD brains can't stay on one thing long enough to finish it. But both can hyperfocus. It just takes a different environment for each brain. Number 5, planners versus procrastinators. Autistic people can zone in with laser focus. And once your autistic brain is in the right environment, it takes a mind-shattering earthquake to break your concentration. But when that focus is interrupted, getting back into the groove can feel nearly impossible. And you'll probably want to grab the nearest breakable item and hurl it across the room. This can make it stressful when your focus gets broken by a looming deadline. That's why a lot of autistic people try to do things early. They want to get it done in a predictable, planned way. It's very soothing to autistic brains, even if it can be hard to plan due to executive functioning challenges at times. ADHD folks are constantly juggling the focus of their attention. Your attention is split between too many things at once, which means it's hard to focus on one task. Except when you do get honed in on something, or when a deadline is looming. It's like you're in another world and everything else fades out. ADHDers are often master procrastinators. It might also take some outside pressure and the threat of a deadline, but clarity happens and suddenly that thing gets done fast. Someone I knew in college was like this. She would just delay things and put them off. But then 1 or 2 nights before it was due, she'd just sit for hours and hours and get it all finished. She'd still get really good grades, but it was like she couldn't think or force herself to do it without the deadline approaching. She'd say the pressure helped her focus. Whereas for me, just watching her study habits gave me anxiety and diarrhea. How could she possibly prefer to wait to do things to the end? What if she didn't finish? How could she not want to plan things step by step? I got an assignment and started working on it usually that day. Pace it out, make sure I had plenty of time to get it done. She did the complete opposite. So it was a good example of how differently our brains worked. So both types of brains can experience hyperfocus, but the autistic brains need a special and particular environment to get there, where ADHD brains just sometimes fall into it by circumstance. So again, wondering how these might look together in the same brain? You'll have to watch this next video to hear all about it. And the chaos of the two in one brain can get pretty insane. Let me tell you. Trust me, I know.